In Mumbai, a man arrives in a car with bodyguards at a go-down where all the criminals are gathered. The man leaves the car with the music box while taking his knife and sits on the couch. He seems to be a gang leader. Then, the criminals tell him their bad stories and about lost consignments. When a man says, instead of finding these people, we should focus on distribution, the man grabs him and cuts his head from his body. Then the man smiles like a psychopath. Previously, for months earlier, at night in a suburban town in Chennai, a truck approaches an old building. There, a man on a phone call updates his superior on his and a container's location. He says this is an old armory and the weapons and ammunition are not working, but there is a power source. He also says this is not cocaine, but some other substance. He has taken a sample and found a tracker, which he deactivated earlier. After 3 months in Chennai, a car weaving at high speed with a drunken man named Karnan crashes into a tree. At the crash site, a black SUV stops mysteriously. At the same time, the undercover cops are watching a movie in a car. They receive a call from their boss, Jose, asking about Karnan's status. They update him, telling him Karnan's car has been parked near an abandoned building for the last 10 minutes. Jose tells them that he wants the kidnappers alive and not to lose the tail. While they are talking, they spot the car moving. In a black SUV, from masked men and Karnan, with his head covered with a jute bag, arrive and proceed to the 7th floor. The men inside lock Karnan on a chair. Jose tells them to wait. Inside, the men's leader records a video saying, "This is not a murder, it's a statement, and with this, we declare war against your system." As the team tells Jose to charge in, he just says to wait until the masked man stabs a knife into Karnan's chest. As the team is about to charge inside, the men throw a grenade inside, with only Karnan left and jump off the building with ropes tied to the window. They flee on their motorcycles. As the grenade is about to explode, Karnan tries to reach it to deactivate it, but unfortunately he cannot and gets caught in the blast. After this, in a special police meeting, Amher and his team are reviewing the video footage of 3 murders that are exactly the same in a row. After the review, Jose predicts the next murder will be done within the next 7 days as the murders are in a series. Before the next murder, they should grab the gang. He asks for Amher's help with this, but Amher asks about the containers that went missing from the harbor. Jose tells him that they are working on it. Then Amher demands access to the inventories and details. After Amher's team leaves, a police colleague asks Jose about Amher and why he is assigned to nab the serial killer. Jose then tells him about a black squad and he is the head of it. They don't have any government ID cards or bank accounts. Basically, they are just nobody. They act like undercover agents for the government, like sleeper cell. They do not have friends, family, or girlfriends. But coincidentally, Amher has one, and they are going to marry in 7 days. His girlfriend complains about his work because he does not stay in a city for long. Amher insists on telling her about his work and promises to be there before their marriage. As Amher and his team begin their investigation, they find out that among the victims, 2 of them are Prabhanjan and Stephen Raj, who are department men. However, Karnan, who is Prabhanjan's adopted father, has no link to the department as he is a commoner. Amher tells his teammates to investigate the 2, while Amher will go after Karnan. On day 2 of their investigation, Amher visits Karnan's house, acts as a debtor, and offers condolences. He asks about how it all happened. Karnan's daughter-in-law Gayatri says one day Prabhanjan brought Karnan home claiming he was his father, but after Prabhanjan's death, he never came home without drinking alcohol, even though he knew about her son's heart condition. As Amher asks further questions, he accidentally drops a glass. Out of nowhere, the housemaid grabs the glass, as the child has a rare heart problem and can't tolerate loud sounds. Then she gets multiple calls from the embassy for her work. As Amher leaves, he notices a fence which he can jump over later. In their investigation, they collect statements from Prabhanjan's and Stephen's family and friends. Karnan's driver tells them that his behavior after his son's death wasn't right at all, so he resigned from his job. Amher asks about his daily routines. The driver says they would go to the golf club every morning where he played for half an hour. Then he would sit under a tree and fiddle with his laptop. Then he would drop him at the gym. Even if his routine varied slightly, he would never miss going to the golf club from 7 o'clock to 8 a.m. daily. As he resists telling more, Amher kicks him a few times until he tells the truth. Afterward, he takes Amher to the golf club and shows him the tree where Karnan used to sit with his laptop. Although he does not know what happened, he tries to understand. At night, Amher jumps the fence into Karnan's house and climbs through a waterline pipe to Karnan's room. He finds a drug-like substance. On day 3, Amher goes to a drug specialist who explains that this is actually erythroxylum novagranatense. It's not exactly cocaine, but if it is processed, then it is cocaine. Then the team finds out the 2 containers missing from the harbor and the murder by the masked man were on the same day. They also find that Stephen Raj has an unusual connection with the cocaine substance. 3.5 months ago, there was a cocaine bust in Trichy with the same substance they found in Karnan's home. The suppliers who are supplying the cocaine substance are operating in Chennai, named the Lungi Gang. They control the coastal areas and the harbor and trade cocaine throughout the city. The gang's leader's name is Santhanam, so they decide to decode Santhanam first. Amher's team blends in with the workers in Santhanam's factory. Then they get all the peddlers in Santhanam's link. On day 4, Amher visits the gym where Karnan used to go. There, he acts like an article writer and wants to know more about Karnan for his article from the gym owner. The owner tells him that he has known Karnan for 40 years, but he doesn't know where or what he works at. He would come and go on his own and drink alcohol wherever he wanted. Sometimes he would be missing for 6 months. In all these years, he did not have any bad habits, but only after his his son passed away did he become an alcoholic. He also says that he started to go to prostitutes. As he confronts and questions him about this behavior, he almost came to beat him. From that day on, they both snapped totally and stopped talking. As Umher asks for the brothel house address for interrogation, the owner smiles and gives him a visiting card for the brothel house. At night, Umher visits the housemaid to learn more about Karnan. She says the child has some serious heart problem. If he hears too loud a noise, he can even die. The child always sleeps on Karnan's chest. She also says, what would he do if his son was beaten to death and he was helpless? That's why he drinks. At last, she says as far as she knows, he is a good man at heart. At Umher's team's workshop, they inject a sedative chemical into Santhanam's partner named Swaminathan, whom Umher's team caught earlier. As the sedative chemical works, he tells them that Santhanam's men are now searching for some missing huge containers. As soon as they went missing, everyone behaved like lunatics. Then they brought a police writer from the police station, who was the only person who saw Santhanam in real life. On that day, they got information about the Lungi gang as they had stuff with them. Only one police constable went to the spot. He captured a bit of a weird man with his whole body covered in tattoos. He even claimed to be a doctor. As he took him to the police station, he tried to handcuff him to the auto, but he resisted strongly and bit a capsule of drugs in his mouth. As the constable struggled to control him, the man triggered the constable's gun, and the bullet went through his chin and out of his head. The auto crashed and flipped sideways. People surrounded the auto, and a man emerged from the crash auto. He was none other than Santhanam, who was the most terrified man in the city. All this incident was recorded on CCTV from a shop. Then Santhanam's men arrived and took him away. The group then discusses their achievement in Santhanam's case. One teammate has disguised himself as a pest control operative and entered Santhanam's house. He tells them that they are all 24 brothers, and Santhanam is the middle one. He has 3 wives, and he takes drugs according to his mood swings. They have an armory of licensed guns and more than 50 double-barrel guns. Munna is Santhanam's uncle, who educated Santhanam. In the group of 24, no one is educated other than Santhanam. Society thinks he is a doctor, but other common people around him know that he is not a doctor, but a cover-up, and he is up to something else inside. As the killing skyrocketed after the containers went missing, one who kills openly like him has no necessity to wear a mask. Their house must cover an area of 10,500 square feet, and there's a very good chance of the same area as a basement also. In the basement, they have a lab to produce cocaine. On the Trichy bus day, they had 900 kilograms of that substance. If the same substance had been loaded in the missing containers, and if he manages to find it first, he can run his own government. The team then decides to have 35 kilos of RDX. On day 5, Umher goes to the brothel house and demands the same girl who gives services to Karnan. He then shows a photo of Karnan and asks, do you know him? She says, I know him very well, he's my regular customer. Umher asks what he did with her. She says he would cuff her hands, and she would moan, and he'd climb out of the window. Then he'd return after 1 hour, remove her handcuffs, and walk away. Then Umher also climbs out of the window to investigate. Umher sits there until night thinking, what would have happened? Then he gets a call from his teammates saying Swaminathan committed suicide. Then Umher goes to the funeral. In the early scene, Santhanam pours oil on him and tells him, if they took you into custody and interrogated you, they will know for sure what I'm up to. Then Santhanam fires Swaminathan and watches him burn. As a teammate reminds Umher that he said he had a meeting at 7:30, Umher says, I forgot my wedding. He rushes back to their office and finds his girlfriend sitting on a chair sadly. He tries to explain his work, but she says that she trusts him and forgives him. Then they had their marriage with interrogated peddlers clapping for them. Then Umher introduces his wife to his teammates. Then they had a party all night. That night, Umher sits back and thinks about the case. His girlfriend asks him to join her for sleep. He asked her, how can a man have so many faces? For that, she says maybe he knows if he dies, a man will come like in the old novels and stories. This triggers Umher. On the next day, day 6, Umher uses a radio signal indicator and finds out that the area where Karnan used to sit had a technical glitch, like a blind spot hub. While sitting on the brothel house building, he accidentally finds a footmark leading to the floor below. There, he finds a bug stuck on a window. On day 7 at night, they discuss the bug and find out that it is a video recorder and an RF transmitter bug. Umher predicts that Karnan may have been linked with a big drug mafia, which may be the reason he was murdered. On the other hand, what if the dead man isn't even Karnan? Then he's on a mission. They find out that two people used the room where the bug was placed, PWD officer Veerapandian and contractor Rudra Pratap. They both went into hiding after Stephen Raj's death. All of a sudden, they were to meet Santhanam's gang and the city distribution gang. But tomorrow Rudra Pratap isn't meeting them because of his daughter's wedding. So only Veerapandian is attending the meeting. Umher guesses that he could be the next, as it was the 7th day. They follow Veerapandian to a casino theater, where Veerapandian explains the deal to Santhanam's men. Suddenly, 5 masked men arrive and charge into the theater, kidnapping Veerapandian and threatening others to sit down quietly. As Umher and his teammates arrive, they also charge into the building and find the 5 masked men there and begin shooting. While they are busy shooting, one masked man kills Veerapandian by cutting his throat. With this, the 5 masked men escape, and Umher gets disappointed. As Umher and his team go after the masked men, a teammate takes the water supplier man who watched the masked men go inside. The team follows the masked men through the city. The masked men shoot at them. After a long chase, Umar manages to push a masked man down. Next day in the old commissioner's office, Umar interrogates the captured masked man named Bejoy, who was a special task force officer and the officer behind the biggest Trichy bust. According to the recent news, his wife and child were murdered. On the other side, Umar's team cuffs the water supply man and asks him to identify the man who gave the order for the water supply. In the commissioner's office, Bejoy says, as a reward, they killed my wife and child in front of my eyes. So Umar says, will you kill all rank officers hiding behind that mask? And Bejoy says, my family won't come back, but at least the family of an honest cop will escape this injustice. When Umar leaves, Bejoy tells a story. Once upon a time there lived a king. He was told that he would die in 7 days. They took him far away to a safe place crossing 7 mountains and 7 seas. But he wanted to relish a grand feast. He was served on a fine spread banana leaf. Then finally mutton curry was served. A bone from that mutton got stuck in his throat and he died. Then Umar asks intelligence security to increase the security of Rudra Pratap and realizes this group doesn't follow any pattern to kill their targets. The intelligence security team convinces Rudra Pratap to give the information about the missing containers and they will give protection. Rudra Pratap says, I have deleted all the files and images, and I have Santhanam. He will manage my protection. Then Santhanam comforts Rudra Pratap saying, receive the relatives with a smiling face. At night, Umar learns that Rudra Pratap didn't accept police protection and is attending his daughter's wedding with Santhanam's men now. Umar realizes Bejoy's story and asks his teammate to check the bug to see if it is transmitting any signal. His teammate checks the bug and finds it transmitting a signal. Then the teammate breaks the bug, and on the other side, a masked man removes his earpiece and throws it into the fire. In the wedding, policemen stay there to see what happens. As the marriage continues, Rudra Pratap seems to be very tense and scared. There, Umhark and his team also arrive. They blend in with the people and start waiting for the masked men. One of his teammates finds a bike backstage, and they assume that this is the escape bike. Then he goes to see the man who is behind the escape bike and finds out that he was the bride's ex-boyfriend. At his house, Umhar's wife cooks food. She hears the cries of the water supply man. She finds him, and he asks for food as he was hungry all day. She gives him food. At the marriage, a dance begins, and several masked men appear in between people. They ignite smoke bombs to distract Santhanam and other police officials. They enter the marriage easily, and one of the masked men kidnaps the bride and demands Rudra Pratap come with him. Rudra Pratap, scared and unwillingly, steps forward. The masked man then chains Rudra Pratap with his neck strap. They get on a bike and escape the marriage. As the masked man escapes, Umar also follows with the bike they found backstage. At the marriage, the remaining masked men fight with Santhanam's men and beat them violently. As the fight resumes, Santhanam informs his members outside to catch the masked man and nab him, and he wants Rudra Pratap alive. At last, Santhanam also joins in the fight. At a bypass, Santhanam's members find the masked man crossing the road and begin chasing him. Rudra Pratap also has a chip with him, so the police follow the lead. At the marriage, Santhanam gets knocked out by the 2 masked men while trying to beat them. Meanwhile, at the house, while the man eats, Umar's wife accidentally touches a button and displays Karnan's photo. The man watches the photo and says, this man's photo is here. As she hears this, she calls Umar. Umar picks up the call as he is also chasing the masked man. She tells him that the man whom he was finding was seen by the water supply man alive. As the chase continues, police block the masked man's path with Santhanam's men chasing behind. Police want the masked man, and Santhanam's men want Rudra Pratap. At the marriage, Santhanam bites a drug capsule and revives like a robot. He knocks down all the masked men there. At the same time, Santhanam's men and police charge towards the masked man. The masked man locks Rudra Pratap to his bike and takes down all the cops and the gang members one by one. After taking down all the cops and the gang members, the masked man cuts Rudra Pratap's throat. As Umar arrives there as well, the masked man begins to leave. Umar asks him if he is truly bold and brave to take off that mask and show his face. After hearing this, the masked man starts recording a video which is also displayed in the marriage where the police arrive. Then the masked man reveals his face. He was none other than Karnan. Then Karnan revs his bike and rides away into the darkness. Then a flashback is shown where Prabhanjan from the first scene tells Bejoy that no one knows his spot other than him and Bejoy. He tells him he has fixed an audio bug there. In the present, Jose increases the security for Bejoy by sending more cops. In the police formal meeting, Umar explains that in India in the 1980s, under the direct governance of the Prime Minister, a stealth team was formed. Initially, it was called Prince Guardian. Later, the name was changed to Black Squad, and he's their present batch. He shows an image of an army group saying this is the pilot batch. In that image, a young Karnan's photo is there. He is called Agent Vikram. There were 11 members in the pilot batch, and their head commander was Agent Vikram. More than 100 operations have been accomplished by this ruthless team. Unfortunately, their operation in 1991 backfired on them. The agency disowned them. They were branded as terrorists, and action was taken against them by wiping them out totally. Till date, from this team of 11, Farbadas alone are missing. That includes Vikram as well. Umar says that if he is right, all this is Vikram's plan. He made everyone believe he was a drug addict, an alcoholic after finding out his son was killed for those missing containers. In order to nab the real killers, he worked from that blind spot. From the conversation between Veerapandian and Rudra Pratap, he found out all of them were working for Santhanam Santhanam's container. Like the masked man who killed Prabhanjan, he utilized his own team and made everyone believe he was killed. And he started wearing the same mask. After this, Amr says, "My mission is accomplished as I tracked the killer." He thought it was a problem between the police department and a serial killer, but now this is a war between an ex-militant and his son's murderers. He can't get involved in this. Then he and his team leave the office. After Amr leaves the building, Jose calls his man in the commissioner's office asking, "Have our men come inside?" But on the other side, it is revealed that the man has tape on his mouth and is kidnapped by Vikram. An officer then informs Jose that Amr's team has submitted all the guns. Besides all of this, gelatin and 30 kgs of RDX are missing. In the commissioner's office, Vikram fights the men protecting Bejoy one by one ruthlessly. Meanwhile, Jose calls Santhanam and tells him 30 kilos of RDX is missing from our inventory, and he wouldn't have left quietly after knowing A to Z about our lab. Then Santhanam makes everyone get out without touching anything or anyone. In the commissioner's office, Vikram releases his teammates and tells them to consider this as a training, and they begin to fight with the men protecting them to escape from the commissioner's office. Outside, Jose also arrives with more police and surrounds the commissioner's building. While they are waiting outside, Vikram and his team escape through a tunnel and come outside in a cinema hall. On the other side, Amr provides his team tickets and financial support. After Santhanam's family and gang members are out, they find one is missing. Santhanam calls him and finds out he's in the bathroom and tells him, "Do not touch anything." As the man pulls the flush, a huge explosion destroys the building and the lab. Then a flashback is revealed where Prabhanjan is captured by Jose and Santhanam's men. Jose asks Prabhanjan about the missing containers, but he refuses to tell. A little time after, Santhanam arrives and he also asks the location of the containers, but Prabhanjan does not tell anything about it. So Santhanam in anger kills Prabhanjan. Cover this murder, Jose creates the masked man identity and acts like he is killing Prabhanjan and sends it to their own apartment. At night in Jose's house, Jose tells Santhanam about Vikram's grandson, and if he touches him, they will get their containers back. He gives a bonus tip about Amr's wife. Then Santhanam leaves. On the other side, Amr calls his wife and asks her to leave and come to him. As Amr is destroying the evidence, he finds a satellite phone. On the other side, Vikram recalls his son's body when it was in a mortuary. After this, Vikram's phone rings. On the other side, it's Amr. Amr tells him that he just did the work he was assigned to, and unknowingly he exposed Vikram's grandson. He says he just wanted to alert him. After ending the call, Amr receives a call from his wife, but she does not speak. As it is revealed Santhanam has captured her, Amr realizes that this is the last day for her. In Vikram's home, Santhanam's men arrive to kill Vikram's grandson. Inside, the housemaid notices men arriving. She tells Gayatri to hide upstairs. The men try to get inside the house. The housemaid calls Vikram, and it reveals that she is Agent Tina. She tells him that there are too many of them, and she doesn't know how long she can manage, and calls him for help. Then she starts killing the men brutally with the things available in the house. Then she takes Gayatri to a safe room hiding behind a bookshelf and tells her that she will take care of her son. She then continues to fight with the men. Vikram is also coming to help her. On the other hand, Amr runs towards his wife's car and finds his wife's headless body inside the car. He cries in agony and suffering. In the house, Agent Tina gets killed by one of Santhanam's men. Vikram arrives home and finds Tina laying down, signaling his grandson is upstairs. When he rushes to see his grandson, a man stabs a knife into his back and calls other men to capture him. But Vikram kills him silently and locks the door quietly. He then signals the men to fight quietly with him, but the last man decides to jump off the railing and create sound as he falls on a table down. The boy starts crying. Vikram takes the boy down and talks to Gayatri via the door video camera. He tells her to unlock this panic room. He needs Tina's eye, but she is dead now, so she is much safer inside for the time being. He promises her that he won't let her son die like his. Saying this, he leaves. As more men are arriving, Vikram escapes in his jeep, and the men start to chase him. Meanwhile, in Jose's house, a masked man arrives and puts a knife on Jose's neck. When he removes his mask, it reveals he is Amr. Jose tries to explain that Santhanam killed his wife, not him. When Jose tries to escape, he plunges a knife into his thigh and beats him brutally. When Vikram's members arrive, they find the guards are already dead and find Amr has killed Jose. Now Vikram tells his men to turn on the tracker and reaches the location followed by Santhanam's men. On the other side, Santhanam answers a call by his men. They ask him to come fast as Vikram took his grandson to the old building. Then Santhanam finds the tracker, which was turned off 3 months ago, is on now. He realizes that they are not following Vikram, but Vikram is leading them. As the men charge inside, Vikram kills them with different guns, guided by the gym owner who is actually Agent Uppalayapan from the Pilot Black Squad. Finally, he comes out and takes charge. While Vikram goes to review a machine gun, the man who is working on the war machine gun is Agent Lawrence, who is also Karnan's driver. He says, "This is an M. Browning war machine. We have used it." A little notorious man from Santhanam's gang kills Uppalayapan. Outside, Santhanam also arrived. Vikram asks Bejoy to come there fast. Santhanam's men throw local grenades at the containers. The men then take masks and go to the basement to search for the missing stash. In that blast, Vikram's grandson loses his pulse. Vikram says he needs CPR immediately and hands over his grandson to Lawrence and says, "Take him to the gate." Only when he says to leave, Lawrence takes the baby in a jeep. Now Vikram opens the gate of a container, but Lawrence leaves enters the gate and moves forward. Santhanam's men charge fire on the jeep. Lawrence gets a bullet in his chest, and he eventually stops. When Santhanam's men pause for a reload, Vikram ignites a cannon and fires at them. Then he orders Lawrence to get down and walk. While Lawrence moves forward, Vikram kills the men who are shooting at Lawrence. He guides Lawrence through a call. In a while, Amher and Vikram's teams arrive and cover Lawrence. They take the baby from Lawrence. As Lawrence gives the baby, he faints. Inside, while the men are searching, they find an RDX bomb and realize it was a trap. Outside, under the cover of his team, Vikram drags the war machine gun to the ground from the container. Vikram's team takes the baby and is ready to go. Amidst the firing, Santhanam goes down to the basement to help his men find the substance. Vikram's team escapes from the scene. As Santhanam's men get into their car to follow, Vikram launches fire and kills them all there, destroying their vehicle. Vikram's team's vehicle stops after the escape in the distance. There, Bejoy tells Amher to take the child to the hospital. As Bejoy and a team member go to set up a detonator, they leave. Amher is on a call with Dr. Annie. She asks him to check if the child is breathing at least slightly. Then she says how to CPR the boy correctly. Meanwhile, Amher is giving CPR to the boy. Vikram and Santhanam fight each other brutally. Santhanam's men also joins the fight and fights with Vikram, telling Santhanam that the substance is upstairs. Go. But Vikram kills the man and opens a hatch. With the opening of the hatch, Santhanam falls with the substance. They both begin to fight again. Meanwhile, as Amher completes the CPR process, the child begins to breathe and cry. As Amher is happy seeing the child alive, he calls Vikram to inform him that his grandson is safe. But Vikram's earbud was lost during the fight. So, Amher brings the child to Vikram in the building's basement. As Vikram hears the child's cry, he gets motivated and beats Santhanam and chains him with the neck strap. Santhanam says he didn't kill Vikram's son, but he killed the cop who touched his stash. Vikram tells him that the killed man was Prabhanjan and his father's name is Vikram. When Vikram leaves, he notices the chain is cuffed to his leg. Then Santhanam says, if you want to die, be here with me. Or if you want to leave, take me out with you. I need my stuff and I need to go out. Then Vikram asks to call Bejoy. Then Santhanam calls Bejoy and says, Code Red. After he says that, a huge blast occurs in that building. Then Vikram shows Santhanam that he has uncuffed his cuff. He tells him, see you in hell. Then the blast takes the whole building down with Santhanam. After a week later in Sassoon Dock in Mumbai, in a go-down, all the criminals are gathered. A car with bodyguards enters the go-down. A man gets out of the car listening to music and sits on a couch. They call him Rolex. Then they explain their losses to him and how a man with his grandson made them lose their consignment. The man behind the Trichy bust is a man named Dilly. As a man says, it is difficult to hunt these people. First, let us start distribution. To that, Rolex grabs the man and cuts his head from his body and smiles like crazy. Rolex sets a bounty. Whoever brings the head of Vikram will get a settlement to last a lifetime. Then all the criminals begin to leave. Then we see Vikram looking back at Rolex while going with the crowd. And here the movie ends. Thanks for watching, and make sure to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this.